I used to think that if I just made the meals, kept the house in order, and poured love into every detail, that I would be full too. I was feeding everyone else, but I was starving. This isn't a video about making food. It's about the invisible hunger that many women carry. I was feeding everyone else, but quietly I was starving on the inside. And how we're not lazy, crazy, or broken. We're just simply depleted in ways that we were never taught to recognize. There's a part of our service that becomes such a distraction. Let's take cooking, for instance. Cooking is a place where love is shown. It was a place where I felt useful, and I'm sure a lot of you do, and I feel seen and heard. And you could just pour a lot of love into the meals that you make for your family. Nutritious meals or just some fast food or junk to make your family feel happy. But it can also be a hiding place. I realize that it can also be a place to use when you want to distract yourself from feeling what you really feel. All feelings are valid. Grief, loneliness, feeling resentment, feeling invisible, that grows when you're serving and you're serving and you're serving and you're serving. And then you stop and you realize, well, who's feeding me? For so many women, especially mothers, our service becomes our identity. And I'll speak for myself that my identity is rooted in Christ. I fill myself up off of His word, and that's what gives me the energy to keep going. If we're not careful, our identity can be rooted in some of our day-to-day tasks or the roles that we take on in our life, whether you're a mother, a caregiver, a manager. There are so many tasks, wives, daughters. There's so many tasks and roles that we play in this world today that we start to find our identity through them. But you got to realize that if those things were taken away from us, then we lose who we are. And so it's always good to develop yourself and not forget to have a friendship with yourself and know who you are and have hobbies and days where you just want to feel more childlike, just like draw, art, journal, things like that. It keeps you in your self-identity. When I say who's feeding you, I mean that you must pour it back into yourself. It is not anyone else's responsibility to pour into you. It is your responsibility alone to help yourself get ahead, reparent yourself. If you were your own parent, how would you help yourself? Fill yourself up off of the word of the Lord. He definitely will help you and guide you in the directions that you should go. There is a type of nourishment versus a type of numbing. Sometimes we even mistake food for love or busyness for worth. I didn't know how to sit still without a task because sitting with myself almost made me feel guilty when there's so many other things that I could be doing to just help my family along. But you have to make sure that you're making time for yourself. And sitting with yourself might even feel uncomfortable and unfamiliar, but it's just like getting to know a new person. You have to re-establish that relationship. So it is important to feed yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, not just actually putting food in your belly. Because some of us, we literally eat while doing 5 different tasks at one time. We're not sitting and slowly romanticizing our food. That's why a lot of us end up in the fast food line. A lot of us are not putting that love and nourishment and wellness back into our bodies, and we find ourselves overweight and stressed and hormonal imbalances because we're not using food properly. I definitely do a lot of stress eating or emotional eating, especially when emotions are high or even when my emotions are low. Food has been the comfort for me. But physical food is not always the food that we need. We might be looking for something more than just putting that food in our body. The way that culture is designed today, they normalize sacrifice and they don't talk about the burnout that comes behind sacrifices. But I sometimes feel guilty, and it's because I want more than just physically filling myself with food. That's where we start working on our health and our wealth. We start working on our self-development. We start working on some of the skills that we we need that will make us better human. And I say humans because we are not just moms, we are not just wives, we are not just our job that we do. We are humans that need nourishment physically, emotionally, spiritually. So if that means getting a few moments to yourself to write in your journal, if that means that you need to go for a walk in the morning with your headphones and clear your mind, whatever that looks like for you, to get yourself on a rhythm that can help yourself to start nourishing yourself and feeding yourself with positive affirmations and a positive lifestyle. These little tasks can help you along the way, even when you slide off from that and you find yourself doing really well and then go back into these mindsets where you feel like you have to stress eat, or that filling yourself with physical food is more important than filling your soul with food, then you know and you have the tools and the abilities to micro task your way back on to the proper schedule, the proper way that things are supposed to flow naturally in your life. I have food in the fridge. I have kids smiling. I have a roof over my head. But did I have rest? Did I have peace? Did I have quiet? Did I have my creativity? These are questions that you really should ask yourself and reevaluate if you are showing up the way that you want to show up. You can love your life the way it is right now and still expand it. You are allowed to grow, even if others are uncomfortable with the growth, even if others are uncomfortable with the fact that you want more for your life, the fact that you want to change, the fact that you want to feel more whole as a person and not just as a task manager. There are tiny acts of returning back to yourself. Healing does not have to be loud, it doesn't have to be publicized. Sometimes it looks like eating your food first. Sometimes it's doing your hair and saying that this moment is mine, or playing your favorite worship song, or dancing around to your favorite music while no one's looking. At the end of the day, the most radical thing you could do for yourself is what I did. I stopped waiting for people to see me, and I started seeing myself. And at that point, I knew. I want to leave you with this. Here are some things that you can do that might slowly help you in a direction of taking those tiny steps forward in your life. You can start by eating one meal in peace. When I wake up first thing in the morning, I'm a morning person. I like to eat something. So I will sit and I will nibble on something while I'm doing my prayer and my Bible time, and I would meditate that way. But that time is mine, and I sit down and I focus directly on me and I nourish my body. You can also write a 3-minute letter to yourself once a day, maybe in the morning or maybe right before you go to bed. You are allowed to be her even while still being everything else. You don't have to wait for life to be perfect for you to become who you were meant to be. I have done this before, and it has stopped me a lot in my progress. It's taken me so long because I felt like I always needed everything before I can actually start exactly whatever it is that I was trying to do. And that will always prevent you from moving forward. When you are starting something new, whether it is a personal self-development goal, a business idea, or just rearranging your life in general, it's good to just start where you are, start sloppy, start with whatever you have, because over time, you will then fill in the gaps and start to create a rhythm that works for you. If you wait until everything is perfect, it'll never be the way that you expect it to be, and then you're going to look back like, why didn't I start? So start feeding yourself the right things. So yeah, you can be everything and become her. You can mother and mend. You can meal prep and heal. You can build a successful life while everyone thinks that you're just living as usual. You could become her. You don't have to just be that one thing that everybody expects you to be. Show up for yourself like everyone else expects you to show up for them. Because I know in this season of my life, I am becoming her. And I hope that in this season, you can become her as well. I'm not performing anymore. I'm practicing, I'm developing, I'm growing, I'm evolving. And these are the things that we need to do on the daily basis. Not for applause, not for social media, not for the people around us, but for ourselves and for alignment. So if this video spoke to you, I want to encourage you that you are not alone in being the best version of yourself, mentally, spiritually, and physically. I hope that we can start feeding ourselves more than what's on the plate in front of us, and more so what's in our soul, in our spirit, in our minds mentally. There is more to you than what you do for others. There is more to you that you want to let out and show and shine, because the Lord said we are the salt and the light of the earth, and we are a lamp that we are meant to be sitting on top of a hill, not underneath. So shine that light that is inside of you. Don't dim it. Don't make yourself small. And I know that it's hard, but sometimes little micro steps towards our future and towards bettering ourselves is the most courageous thing that we can do. You are allowed to want to be seen, even if you're still trying to figure out what that actually looks like for you. If you're ready to nourish yourself and not just your family, stick with me. Comment down below, I'm ready to nourish me. And if you want more of this healing heart talks and becoming her videos, consider subscribing. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. And always, thank you for listening. And I will see you guys in the next video.